Hey there, Coxie here, and in this video number 3 on how to save money is on how to save money with food and drinks, or alcohol basically, which is probably the third biggest expense for many Aussies and some others. So I covered how to save money on airfares and accommodation before, your two biggest expenses. Now food and drinks. So the easiest one would be food, and to do that, always go to local places, hang out with locals, or look where locals are. Locals don't generally go to the most expensive, but tourists do. You know, they go to Hard Rock Cafe and eat Western food and all this sort of stuff. So avoid Western food, that's usually more expensive. Always eat local and go where locals are. Be with a local if you can. So that's basically the food side of it. Always go local. You can go a high-end local, like, you know, almost like hotels or something, and low-end like street food. I don't go street food. I get sick quite easily, so you know, the hygiene's not the best, so I go to a step or two above that, smaller local restaurants. So that's food. With drinks or alcohol in particular, it all depends on what you drink and what you're willing to change. So when I first went on my first biggest trip, 2011, I used to drink Jim Beam and Coke all the time, and I flew from Melbourne to KL, and I bought a bottle of Jim Beam, stayed for 2 days, then I went to Laos for a week. When I came back to KL from Laos, I bought another bottle and stayed in KL for 24 hours. Then the next day I flew to Myanmar, and on the way back from Myanmar to KL I bought another bottle. So I actually bought 3 bottles of spirits, 3 liters, and then I stayed 6 weeks in KL. So usually duty free is cheaper, but not always. It depends what you drink as well. But basically I was stocked up for drinks for the next 6 weeks, and then all I had to do was buy the mixer, Coke, Sprite, whatever. So that's one way to do it, buying duty free and then just buying the mixers while you're overseas. If you can change, you know, it depends whether you drink beer, spirits, wine, cocktails. I changed after that to drinking beer only for a couple of reasons. One, it's usually very cheap in Southeast Asia, not so cheap in Malaysia. They tax quite high, but in most of the countries beer is quite cheap. But the second reason is it's usually in a bottle, you know, it's sealed, so you know what you're getting. Where we've all heard stories in Bali and other places where you order a mixed drink or a cocktail and who knows what they put in there, or they water it down or whatever. But not only that, the glass, you'll be drinking out of glass, the glass is often washed with tap water, local tap water, or it has ice in it or something. Not always, but sometimes using tap water, so you could easily get sick. And that happened to me in Vietnam 1996 when I went there for the first time. I went to a bar, I was only there for a day or 2 days. Went to a bar, drank, don't even know what I had, I think it was a beer. But they took the glass out of the fridge, it was all frosty, they washed it with the water, and then I got sick that night or the next day. So I try and avoid getting sick as well. So now I just buy bottled beer wherever I go. It's safer and cheaper. Another way is to look for happy hour. Most places have a happy hour. They all want to get more customers or bring the customers in, and sometimes they'll have happy hour at different hours. You know, in Pavilion, there's a drinking area in Pavilion in KL. Their happy hour starts at 4 p.m. or something like that. So, and it's often 2 for 1, buy one get one free sort of thing. But that's a way to save money on alcohol. Again, go where locals go. Westerners tend to go to the, I don't know, the more expensive places, hotel clubs or bars, Hard Rock Cafe again, things like this. But if you just ask locals or be with locals or look where locals go, to drink, that's usually going to be cheaper than where tourists go. So that's about it for this video. It's a pretty short video. There are some ways to really save money, you know, buying duty free and then just buying mixers when you're there. If you like spirits, if you like beer, just buy bottled beer and just go for happy hour and go where locals go. You know, so with the duty free, I would stay in my service apartment, have a few drinks, then I went out. I only had 1 or 2 drinks while I was out, so I didn't need it. So duty free is a good option, or drinking at your hotel before you go. If you drink beer even, you can buy beer at a convenience store or somewhere, supermarket, drink in the hotel or apartment, then go out and you know, drink 1 or 2 at night at the bar you go to, rather than starting there and having 10 at the bar or club wherever you go. So start at the hotel or apartment. So there's some tips on how to save, you know, smaller amounts of money rather than the accommodation or airfare. They will save you a lot more. But there's some of the things that I do when I travel to save, and also drink more safely, you know, from a bottle rather than washed glass or with ice. I never have ice, even if, as you probably know, if you drink beer, they serve the beer room temperature, 35 degrees. So I often say put the bottle in the fridge or put it on ice, and then it's cold beer if they don't have cold beer, rather than putting ice in the beer, which is a sort of a local thing to do in many countries. So there's ways to save and keep healthy, or keep healthy. So that's it for this video. See you in the next one.